Hydro Show, Sunday 14th July 2013, and well, with the new crew, in the sense that other people from school are here. The hostel was a bit meh, €40 as well, the other ones cost like 10 and were like infinitely better than this.
We then proceeded to the what I'm going to call the Art Museum, a great museum with tons of different galleries, from Southern Asian statues to paintings of the Battle of Waterloo, from Van Gogh to cool crystalline models, and an awesome weaponry section. It had battle axes, guns, swords, armor, cannons, a combined gun sword, more guns and more swords, ridiculously long snipers, and so much more.
We went to the park for a picnic, which was fine. Good picnic. I pretty much just had lots of pasta.
And then we walked around for a bit, going to an Irish pub for dinner and then going to a boat riding place as it was supposed to be Linda's birthday treat. Unfortunately, it was fully booked, so Mira, John, Luke, Cameron and I went to a bar to have an absinthe shot followed by a vodka shot. And then Mira spent a good half hour wandering around the streets of Amsterdam looking for a place that sold crates of beer. And after eventually finding one, we sat by the canal, talked and drank, which was fun, though of course with 5 drunk teenage males something is bound to go wrong, as Luke will explain.
You know those adverts you see of when people are like a bit drunk and then they think they can do amazing things, and then you laugh at them because then they get hit by a bus or something? Yeah. Pay attention to those, because then if you don't, you just try to do hurdles over some scaffolding and then you trip and then you like kill your ankle. 15th of July 2013, currently in the town.
Next was the walking tour, and a very interesting one too, considering I had little knowledge of the Netherlands and Amsterdam. It covered the history of the country as well as the more modern parts of Amsterdam, especially the parts that is infamous for. After that, Luke, Louie and I decided to go and visit a couple of other people from school who were also in Amsterdam at the same time, although we may have got a little lost, turning what I predicted to be a pleasant 1 hour walk into an almost 3 hour anxious stroll, though we did eventually manage to find our bearings, working out they were actually at a campsite, so we hung around with them for a couple of hours and then headed back, coming through the red light district.
16th of July 2013, on our way to the Anne Frank house,
which we visited, and it was decent but a little underwhelming. You're not even allowed to film the inside. We then went to a pancake house for breakfast, followed by a splitting of groups. However, I may have got the short end as my group was asleep at just 1:30, so I spent the time recording some music videos while exploring the city.
17th of July 2013, it's the 14th day of Interrailing, final day. And we decided to spend this day to look around for Tiffios places. Last night I spent time to find out where everything was, and so far we've gone Van Houten's house, the hotel they stayed at, the cafe they ate at, and Hazel's Tree, which was literally opposite the cafe. So, other than that, nothing much else. Last night we didn't really do anything too much, just walked around the red light district for a bit, had a couple of drinks, standard stuff you do in Amsterdam.
Next was a pedal boat ride, and then Luke and I went for the final item on our Fault in Our Stars tour, the Blossom Restaurant, the restaurant that inspired the restaurant in Tiffios. The two of us spent a good 2 hours looking for it, only to find that it had shut down previously that year. So in the entire trip, added to the items previously mentioned, we located the library where Mr. Green wrote the book, the #1 bus that Gus and Hazel took, the Anne Frank house, and almost found the house where John Green stayed at while writing the book. Though our banner said 1673, he's saying 1693. I call that a success.
At the megabus, gotta get this for 10 hours, I lost my phone. I left it at the lobby.
We took said megabus through Belgium to Calais and immigration control, onto a ferry, then back onto the bus to Victoria Station, where, as if to greet us home, several Union Jacks are hung. Amsterdam is a gorgeous city with spectacular museums and a rich history, and although it may be known for certain things, and it certainly does live up to its name, that's just part of the whole culture, and in fact, I see nothing wrong with it. Well, that's a lie, but there are much bigger and more important fish to fry. And it's tiny too, you could walk from one end to the other in around 6 hours, something Luke and I pretty much did. A far cry from London. And that's just it. All the cities I visited, Vienna, Budapest, Prague, Berlin and Amsterdam, are all phenomenal cities in their own right, yet none of them quite match London. Going through the endless hours of footage to make these 5 thoughts on places made me realise how much we crammed in, how many great moments we had, and how it's impossible to capture all that happened into a mere 20 minutes. The Interrailing trip was one of the best 2 weeks of my life, and definitely the best 2 weeks of this holiday, and I could ramble on about how I'll never forget the times I had, or how I got to know my friends on a deeper level, or even quote T.S. Eliot on exploration, but that won't do my current thoughts justice. Sometimes you just can't describe a feeling, no matter how much footage or words you use. Sometimes thoughts are simply supposed to remain as, well, thoughts. See you in the near future, Dorito.